This is the Orioles POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Baltimore Orioles. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Baltimore Orioles postcast here on this Saturday night. 10 o'clock, fast approaching this evening out on the East Coast. My name is Luke Slabaugh, and I'm your post-game show host here on the Locked On Podcast Network, specifically for these Baltimore Orioles in the 2025 campaign. Tonight, we lament an 11-3 loss at the hands of the Athletics. 9 unanswered runs given up by Orioles pitching. In the first block, we'll talk about the shortcomings of Brandon Young and the O's bullpen. And in the second block, some life in the first inning from Gunnar Henderson, a 3-run bomb, and Earl Weaver. And then the offense going very cold. Some reasons behind that and why it's not inspiring confidence for these final 2 months of the season. The O's fall to 11 games under 500. This show streams live to YouTube. It is available on demand wherever you get your podcasts for free. Main subject tonight, it's the Hall of Fame game. Joe Orsulak, Tom Davis, Adam Jones, all getting honored at Camden Yards. Some Orioles lifers in front of the crowd at Camden Yards, doing their radio responsibilities and TV hits, and it's a lot of feel-good, vintage B-roll, good film, and right-hander Brandon Young, undrafted free agent trying to make his marked 10th big league start, could not rise to the occasion.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Coming off a couple solid outings, too. There was that dropped fly ball against the Cubs that kind of doomed him for 200 runs and then had a quality start not too long ago. Age 27 season, and Brandon Young is not getting any younger. This is one of those nights where he just didn't have command. You could see it early on from the first inning. 28 pitches to get him out of just that first jam. Athletics squared up the fastball. They're very good at catching up to the high heat. And Brandon Young doesn't throw that fast of a fastball anyway to be dominating like that. The Athletics take good pitches. They got a good heart of the order with Langoliers, Nick Kurtz, Brent Rooker. These are good guys, solid power hitters, and they were good at working counts. Brandon Young barely got through 3 innings. And I think the Athletics keyed on very early that he would throw the cutter and the curveball to right-handers and try to get lefties out with the splitter. It did not work. Good ideas, but no execution. And it started from Jump Street. Top of the first, Lawrence Butler is the leadoff man. Young has him in a 1-2 count, then misses with 2 four-seam fastballs and a splitter outside to walk him from 1-2 to a free pass. Then Shea Langoliers gets a cutter that didn't cut. 2-run bomb to left field, quickly 2-0 Athletics. 28 pitches for Brandon Young to get out of that first inning. He's bailed out in the bottom half by a 3-run blast by Gunnar Henderson. And we'll talk about that in the second block. And for whatever reason, after one shutout inning where he still had some traffic, a single and a walk in the second, things fall apart in his final frame of action.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Was really looking forward to wearing the floppy hat, too. This would have made 3 wins in a row. Unfortunately, no. Top 3, 3-2 ball game. Langoliers, first pitch curveball, blasted past Gunnar Henderson, deflecting off the shortstop into left field, ruled a base hit. I have some thoughts on that. Nick Kurtz, then a high fastball at 93, not challenging him well enough. That drops a short hop in front of right fielder Jeremiah Jackson, converted infielder, super utility man, still figuring his way out there at right field in Camden Yards. 2 hits that in an otherwise normal world probably wouldn't have fallen. Everyday right fielder gets that. I don't care if it's Tyler O'Neill, Dylan Carlson, anyone. Ryan O'Hearn maybe in right field, probably playing a little bit more shallow, makes that play. Leave it to Brent Rooker. Hanging splitter. Bombs away. When he gets into one, he hits it a long ways. A 3-run bomb to left field, and the lead has evaporated. It is now a 5-3 Athletics ball game. Tyler Soderstrom then goes oppo on a 4-seam fastball for a double. Darnell Hernandez sacrifices him in to make it 6-3. Things fell apart, but those 3 runs all earned Darell Hernandez Excuse me. Sometimes I mistype things. 6-3. Forcing fastball against Hernandez just not high enough to get out of that jam. You got Yarmil Geraldo, the right-hander, warming up in the bullpen after 2+ innings of work. And after 2+, Brandon Young was at 60 pitches. Geraldo comes in the fourth, has a quick 1-2-3 inning, but could not stop the bleeding after that. An infield single from Nick Kurtz to Jackson Holliday, a ball that also should have been corralled, probably should not have been ruled a single. The official scores these days, given a lot of batters the benefit of the doubt with exit velocity, they're bailing out infielders who otherwise should be putting their bodies in front of the ball and knocking things down in front of them. Anything played to the side these days, anything that deflects off a player's glove is now ruled a hit. Very rarely you're seeing errors called, and there were some. Kurtz couldn't corral a ground ball to him, went in and out of his glove. Yarmil Geraldo had one go through the wickets in the fifth inning that we'll talk about. Rooker then hits a hanging slider to the left field corner, and it's a slow roll off of that lower padding to Dylan Carlson, who at one point is parked down, hunched over 3/4 angles down, like bending at the waist, waiting for it to go into his bare hand. But Kurtz, who runs well, I wouldn't say runs fast, but runs well, chugs home to make it 7-3. An out later, Brent Rooker has moved to third. Adley Rutschman able to backpick him to give 2 outs in the inning, and Geraldo can maybe get out of this with just 1 run charged to him. But he walks J.J. Bleday. That aforementioned error, Hernandez hits it through the wickets of Geraldo, the slow tapper that he can't corral. Then Luis Urias hits a slider through the left side hole past Gunnar Henderson, who's diving. Can't make that play either, but that's well past him. 8-3. Right-hander Corbin Martin is in. You'll remember a couple days ago in the Philly series, Martin was notorious for having stranded all 7 inherited runners that he took over for. And that has just spiraled since. Couldn't help out Cade Povich in that Philly series, and things went from bad to worse tonight. Although most of these runs are charged to Geraldo. Gio Urshela hits a double into the right field corner on a slider. Jeremiah Jackson stumbles, almost face plants, trying to grab that ball off the carom. 2 runs come around to score on a slow relay play. Didn't get the ball to Jackson Holliday on the cutoff in time, and so that throw at home is not competitive at all. Lawrence Butler walks, and Shea Langoliers hits a ground rule double over the left center field fence to get us at the final score of 11-3, squaring up a 4-seam fastball from Corbin Martin. So a 5 spot by the Athletics and a 40-pitch inning between Geraldo and Corbin Martin. Less than inspiring and less than ideal on Hall of Fame day. Coming up, we'll jump real quick into the Baltimore Orioles offense. Auspicious start, great bottom of the first, and then nothing. The parallels between last night and tonight and why this is cause for concern. It is concerning, right? This late in the season, it is pretty brutal. Hannah on YouTube comments, doing this on Hall of Fame night is brutal. James Reckling also leaves a comment. Will Dylan Carlson ever get another hit? He has been hitless all through August. And we'll talk about all these things after this break. This is Locked On Orioles POSTCAST. Please stick with us. Some makeshift setup things here. I'm still figuring out how to get this shot correct for the final couple months. So there is going to be a little bit of shaking from the webcam. I do apologize. Show's brought to you by Gametime. We've all been there waiting for concert tickets. If you're like me, trying to see Queens of the Stone Age in Chicago, Catacombs tour, or maybe you're one of those basic guys and gals. Let's go see Beyonce. Let's go see Taylor Swift. Let's go see Sabrina and the Carpenters. That's where Gametime comes in. Gametime makes concert tickets faster and easier than ever. Prices actually drop as it gets closer to showtime. You can save up to 60% off with their killer last-minute deals. If you're worried about what happens if plans change, the Gametime guarantee has your back with cancellation protection and a whole lot more. Take the guesswork out of buying concert and show tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Show's also brought to you by PrizePicks, the daily fantasy platform that lets you turn your football predictions into real rewards. Preseason is heating up. College football ain't far behind. Perfect time to lock in your season long, more or less picks for the 2025 football campaign, all before week one kicks off. Did you see Patrick Mahomes in that super efficient drive tonight? 1 of 1 for 1 yard and a touchdown, throw into the back shoulder in the end zone. Might be good for a season long pick. Would have to do some research into what that is. Maybe over under 27.5 touchdowns. Probably a solid shot to bet the over. But who am I? I'm the guy talking to you on a baseball show about prize picks. Download the PrizePicks app today and use the code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. PrizePicks, run your game. We have a man who knows ball in the chat. Riley comments live on YouTube. Quote, Queens of the Stone Age. Great taste in music. They were my first show back in St. Louis, Missouri in 2011, and I've seen them on every tour since. Favorite band of all time. Kind of drifting in and out of the mainstream, but some of the venues and some of the places I've seen them, love them. Wish I could say the same for this 2025 Baltimore Orioles offense. Almost the same exact blueprint as yesterday. 3 runs in the first inning on the strength of home runs and nothing afterwards. Legitimately nothing off of this young right-hander for the Athletics who was gunning and earned his first major league win. Codename Perkins. In fact, Jack Perkins. Something had to give tonight. Someone was going to earn their first major league win on Hall of Fame night, and it's Jack Attack Perkins. Only 1 hit for the Orioles after the first inning, and it comes with 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. It's Ryan Mountcastle hitting a weak ground ball to right field, which is cool, but context included, this is disconcerting. Gunnar Henderson kind of lucked into a Weaver tonight. He didn't luck into it. The Orioles did. It was a great piece of hitting by Gunnar. Bottom first, Jackson Holliday with a single past the second baseman, Luis Urias, into right field. Probably should have been corralled, but yeah, it is what it is. 95-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle, and Holliday hits it on the screws. So there's no complaints here. A good piece of hitting. Then Jordan Westburg, kind of this half swing to third baseman Gio Urshela. Good foot speed by Westburg beats out this slow chopper. So you got runners on first and second going station to station because what else can you do? But 2 singles that a well-fielding team probably snuffs out. A better position team, at least. And then Gunnar Henderson, 0-2 count. A really good pitch from Perkins. It's a four-seam fastball high and tight, just didn't get it in on the hands enough at 96, and Gunnar hits it to deep center field for a 3-run bomb to salvage the inning and give the O's a 3-2 lead and back up Brandon Young. The lead would be gone 15 minutes later, but a 27-pitch first inning for right-hander Jack Perkins. You got the rookie on the ropes. You could be messing with his composure. And how does Jack Perkins respond? He sets down 15 Orioles in a row, 27 pitches in the first inning, and 57 over the next 5. It's a quality start for Perkins in his first big league win. The fastball played up a little bit. He maxed out at 98, the sweeper with over 2,900 RPMs, and he's pulling a string with the changeup, going 5 to 6 miles an hour softer than the fastball. And the O's, as we've seen, 57 pitches over the next 5 innings. That's just about double what he threw in the first alone. The Orioles aren't working counts. We made a lot last night about this new look Orioles offense, and I saw some comments on Twitter. When was the last time you saw a team bury all 3 outfielders, 7, 8, 9 in their lineup? It's kind of where we're at. Brandon Young is the GOAT tonight, the scapegoat, if you will. because he couldn't pitch well, give up 6 earned runs, give up the long ball. And this speaks to the lack of organizational depth that the O's have, and especially in the outfield. Daz Cameron's name was dropped in the broadcast tonight just because the O's are out and getting last chance you type of players here to play in the outfield. And Mike Elias and Tony Mansolino and Brandon Hyde would not have imagined that Brandon Young would be starting this game or any game, let alone a meaningful game in August. His role on this team will be reconsidered. I had mentioned last night, as well as we wrap up things on the offense, that Gunnar Henderson might be a better option in the leadoff spot come 2026, just because the quality at bats that he's working. And now, as we've seen, there really is no solution right now for the top of the order. It's not Jackson Holliday. He's getting a little too swing happy for that. Gunner's working good counts, but you need him with runners on base. And to set the table early, they're doing everything right in the first inning, and they're getting figured out the second time around. So credit to Jack Perkins for good sequencing, and credit the A's bullpen as well. The O's got to figure this out. Jackson Holliday would break that 15 up, 15 down streak in the bottom of the sixth, taking a 3-2 fringe sweeper from Perkins that on Gameday's app touched the lower corner of the zone. Probably could have been called a strike, but he walked. The O's carry on, and so will you, and so will I. Rubber game tomorrow, 1:35 first pitch on Masson. Left-hander Cade Povich back at Camden Yards. It has not been kind to him this year. Although the last time he did pitch in Baltimore, he earned a win and then went on the injured list for an indefinite amount of time with hip soreness, inflammation. Povich 2-6 with 5.25 ERA. His counterpart, at least for the first inning, will be right-hander Luis Morales. Who is he? You don't know him. He goes to another school. You can't sit with us. 22-year-old right-hander, and 14 starts this year between AA Midland and AAA Vegas. Only one major league appearance under his belt. It will be his first major league start. Kind of a bulk bullpen day for the Athletics before they scoot it and boot it out of Baltimore. And Cade Povich and company will try to take it to the house. Will they? Who knows? Goob comments on YouTube. Greg Allen will lead us to a World Series in 2026. Riley, with a very sweet comment to wrap us up here on the Orioles Postcast, says that this hair that needs to be cut is giving Josh Homme a run for his money. Josh Homme, the famous singer-songwriter, guitarist of Queens of the Stone Age, and prior to that, Kyuss, Kyuss. Great rock and roll band from the 90s. Do check them out. That'll do it for tonight's Orioles Postcast. 18 minutes. Let's get out. A final score. The Orioles 3 and the Athletics 11. Good night. Stay safe. I will see you back here tomorrow night.